How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Want to thank all you good folk out there in YouTube land for continuing to rock out with my son and I. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Well, family, I am back with another video, and I will be giving my commentary and thoughts on a video that content creator, the lead attorney, dropped. Now, one thing about the lead attorney, he is a board certified practicing attorney. So what we can what we can gather from listening to the lead attorney is this. The lead attorney is going to look at things that happen, like he always comments on things dealing with what's going on with the whole Rodney Hinton situation and the Carmelo Anthony. So pretty much he talks about a multitude of things, but he really hones in on those topics that have to do with the law. And one thing it is I can say is so refreshing when an attorney can say the same thing that someone else is saying, but you know that this attorney is looking through a lens that is outside of his feelings. See, that's a problem with people nowadays. It's always feelings over fact. Doesn't matter what the facts say, doesn't matter what DNA evidence say, doesn't matter what body camera footage say, doesn't matter at all because when things happen that trigger people, they get so caught up in their feelings that they can't make a logical decision. And when you try to show them that, they'll lash out, you know, say all kind of craziness, not realizing that you are the one that's caught up in your feelings and emotions. But we gonna go on ahead and let the lead attorney go ahead and cook a little bit, and I'm gonna add my commentary along the way. And by the way, the video that the lead attorney is going to be referencing is the same video that when I dropped the video, Willie D believes vigilante justice against law enforcement will be on the rise. This is the video that he was referring to. And when you listen to the lead attorney and what he has to say, you just you gonna see it from a different lens, and you will garner a different perspective.
Most disgusting press conference I have ever seen put on by attorneys. Now, you guys heard about this case. It made national news. Ryan Hinton jumped out of a stolen vehicle, was running around with a pistol in his hand, and was put down by police officers. The family of that 18-year-old held a press conference, and it was absolutely horrible. I'm going to break this down from an attorney's perspective who's practiced over 20 years. Let's get into it.
Thank you for coming out. My name is Michael Wright, attorney Michael Wright. I'm going to introduce attorney Fanon Rucker, attorney Robert Gresham, attorney Anthony Pearson. I'm going to introduce.
Stop it right there. This attorney needs to be fired. Did you catch it? If I was part of this family, I would tell all of these attorneys to get out of my house. Did you see what just happened? I'm going to rewind it and let's see if you can pick up on what I spotted.
Thank you for coming out. My name is Michael Wright, attorney Michael Wright. I'm going to introduce attorney Fanon Rucker, attorney Robert Gresham, attorney Anthony Pearson. I'm going to introduce Mom, who is.
Look at him. What is this gentleman holding in his hand? It's a cheat sheet, guys. This attorney is in this nationally televised press conference, says he's going to introduce the mother of the slain teenager, and then has to look down at a piece of paper to remember her name. How would you feel if your child was killed and you hired a law firm to represent you? You want to file a wrongful death claim, but at the same time, that's your child. This is the most important case in your life, and you're telling me that you hired a law firm that can't even remember your name? Listen to me when I tell you that this is a big case. These cases typically work on contingencies. This law firm is going to try to reach a quick settlement, and if they can't, they're going to file suit. The way we attorneys typically handle these situations is that we'll take a third of the compensation that you receive if we can settle the case before we have to file suit. If we have to file the complaint, then it goes up to 40%. So let's say this family is going to try to get $10 million. Now, they're not going to win, but let's say that they do. Let's say they get $10 million. This law firm is going to charge 40%. That's $4 million. You're telling me that you got $4 million from my son's death and you can't even remember my name. Just look at the man. He says he wants to introduce the mother, and then he immediately looks down to his cheat sheet. I want to introduce to you the mother. The mother, that she's standing right here. She really loves Jamila. I want to introduce Jamila. Can you imagine? You want millions of dollars off the back of my son's death, and you can't even remember my name, and I'm the mother. Great attorneys pay attention to detail, and that's why I caught this. You may think it's a small thing, but if your attorney can't even remember your name, how do you think this attorney's going to do in trial?
I'm going to introduce Attorney Fanon Rucker, Attorney Robert Gresham, Attorney Anthony Pearson. I'm going to introduce Mom, who is Tori Jackson, Grandma, which is Tanya Larkin, and Dad, which is Rodney Hinton Jr., grandfather.
What? I know this attorney didn't just say that that man was the father. Does anybody know what's wrong with this? Does anybody know the facts of this case? Why is it clear to anyone who knows anything about this situation that that man is not the father? This is the father of the boy. In fact, this man is the reason why this case has made national news. If we're gonna be honest, it's not a big shocker that someone jumps out of a stolen vehicle, is running with a pistol, and gets shot. If I tell you that, you're gonna be like, oh, well, okay. But what if I tell you that that teenager's father finds out, gets in a vehicle, and then goes and assassinates a random police officer, someone who didn't have anything to do with this man's son's death? You're gonna say that's outrageous. This man, the father, is the entire reason why this story has blown up nationwide. And now you're telling me that this attorney thinks that the father is standing right there next to him? The father is in a detention center in Ohio on no bond status for capital murder. And the attorney's all, oh, well, here's the father right here. This is ridiculous. We just started the press conference and it's already off the rails. The lead attorney on this case, not me, him, he doesn't know the name of the mother and he doesn't know who the father is of this boy that he represents. You can tell immediately that this is all about the money. There is no connection between this law firm and this family. When there's a connection, you don't need a cheat sheet. Let me show you what a real connection looks like. This gentleman's name is Bruce Harvey. He practices here in Atlanta. He is one of our state's best criminal defense attorneys. He represented a young man in the Young Thug trial. Bruce fought that case with everything that he had and got that man an amazing result. Now let's listen to how Bruce speaks about his client.
You know, you can see his intellectual curiosity. He's a really good kid and a smart kid. And I want him, truly.
It's true. I mean, we've spent.
That is a connection. When you actually care about the client or care about the case and you're emotionally connected and you get choked up, that's how you know that you're giving it everything that you got. But this attorney here doesn't even take the time to learn the mother's name, doesn't even know who the father is. This is an absolute disgrace. But let's keep going.
We represent the estate of Ryan. We're not here to talk about the incident that occurred with the police officer. We do offer our condolences to the officer and his family, but we were hired to represent this family to investigate the police-involved shooting of their son, Ryan.
Jesus.
This family is very upset about what occurred. Kind of walking you through what happened is on Friday morning, we met with the police chief of Cincinnati, and we viewed the body cam video of what happened with the police-involved shooting with Ryan. We stayed at the chief's office for about an hour and a half, and what we saw was disturbing. The family was upset, as you can imagine, watching your son, watching your grandson watching your loved one getting shot and killed by the police was upsetting to this family. We left out of the police chief's office, and a few hours later, I was made aware that Rodney had an incident with a police officer that resulted in the officer's death.
Did you hear that? Now let's acknowledge this attorney says, yeah, condolences to the family of the fallen officer, but you always got to listen for that but we are here to investigate what this police officer did to young Ryan. We want facts. But then when it's time to talk about what happened, now it's very generalized. Now it's, oh, well, something happened between Rodney, the father, and this deputy, but something happened. Now there are no facts. There's no discussion. There's no details. But this attorney knows exactly what happened. This attorney knows that Rodney showed up to that police station and watched the tape. This attorney knows that Rodney was acting erratic for over 2 hours in the parking lot. This attorney knows that Rodney got into a vehicle, saw Deputy Henderson, and mowed him down. This deputy didn't have anything to do with Rodney's son's death. And I'll just mention this because it's so horrible, but Rodney killed Deputy Henderson, who was a white officer, at the intersection of Martin Luther King Drive. You guys remember Martin Luther King, the man who said that he wanted his people to be judged by the content of their character. This attorney knows all of these facts, but he just said, oh, well, there was an incident with the father.
And a few hours later, I was made aware that Rodney had an incident with a police officer that resulted in the officer's death. But again, we are here because we represent the estate and the police-involved shooting. We're trying to get the family some answers as it relates to what happened with that shooting. We're not here at this point to make any specific allegations, to make any specific determinations as it relates to that police-involved shooting. We are here and were retained to investigate that shooting.
He just needs to come out and say it. Listen, I know a lot of stuff happened, but we are here about the money. We represent the estate. We want money. We're going to file a lawsuit. We need to get paid.
We'll take any questions.
How will that proceed? What will that look like? What will you be reviewing the body camera footage frame by frame, or talking about the process?
Absolutely. We only saw one angle. We only saw, I believe it was the shooter's body cam. So we requested the records, we requested all the other body cams, we requested the reports, we did the ordinary public records request so that we can really analyze what occurred.
This attorney, who can't remember any of his clients' names, says he wants to analyze all the footage frame by frame. He says he wants a full and complete investigation. And that's fine, that's good. Let's just hope that there is a similar full and complete investigation as to what happened between Deputy Henderson being killed by Rodney. Let's hope that there is a full and fair jury trial and that jury comes back with the right verdict.
We requested the records, we requested all the other body cams, we requested the reports, we did the ordinary public records request so that we can really analyze what occurred. I mean, what we saw in the video, it's hard to determine whether or not that officer was in imminent danger or should have thought that they were in imminent danger before they took shots.
This is absolutely ridiculous. If you're a police officer and you see a young man jump out of a stolen vehicle and he's running in between dumpsters and he has a weapon in his hand, a firearm, are you not going to think that your life is in imminent danger? Are you not going to think that your situation is a life or death circumstance? Imagine how fast someone who has a weapon who is running can turn around and point that thing right at you.
100%. So all the naysayers are saying, "Oh, how is he a threat while he running away? How is he showing that he was a threat? Well, if he's running, how can he shoot?" This licensed, articulate, educated brother who is a practicing attorney in Atlanta, Georgia, just broke. I mean. You can't make it any clearer than what he just said. You can't make it any clearer than what the lead attorney just said. Again, this man is looking at things from a legal aspect. His feelings and his emotions ain't got nothing to do with it because when you start talking about the law, it either is or it isn't. There's really no in between. There's no gray area. It either is or it isn't.
You have a wife, you have kids, you have a family, you want to make it home safely. But 15 feet away from you, there is a young man ducking in between trash cans with a weapon, pumping his arms, lifting it up and down. You are absolutely entitled to protect your life, protect your safety from that imminent threat. This attorney is losing all types of credibility.
So we are specifically investigating, that part of this entire tragic situation.
Mr. Wright, to the person who says Ryan was in a stolen car, had a firearm, according to detectives, and this is what happened, what do you say to that person?
That's correct, but being in a stolen car, having a firearm, firearms, we're in Ohio, so you can open carry in Ohio. So that's not a death penalty.
This attorney says Ohio has open carry laws. He says you can be in a car with a pistol and it's fine. That's not a death penalty case. This is what we call a red herring. This attorney is exactly right. You can be in a car with your weapon and that's fine. But that's not what happened in this case.
No,
this attorney knows good and well that there is no open carry law in the nation that will protect someone who is brandishing a firearm, fleeing from law enforcement during a felony. Why is this attorney talking all this craziness? Who are these people?
Exactly. So, as a lead attorney just said, yeah, you can have your pistol inside your car. Yeah, you can. But you can't be committing a felony, meaning you're inside of a stolen vehicle, and then on top of that, you got a firearm. You can't be in commission of a firearm while committing a felony. You just can't. So, the lead attorney, he broke it down eloquently. What else? What else is there to add to it?
And what's clear is that these attorneys are just in it for the money. They don't even know the family members' names.
The only thing we've heard so far about Ryan has been from police. Would a member of the family want to step forward and tell us a little bit about him?
Yeah, of course. This is his mother, this is his grandmother, his brother, his father, his grandfather.
He did it again. One of the reporters is like, hey, we're hearing from you. Does any of the family members want to say anything? And this attorney says, yeah, here's the mother, the grandmother, and here's the father. How does this attorney not know who the father is? Did you hear that? Let's play it again.
This is his mother, this is his grandmother, his brother, his father.
I am absolutely done with this attorney. This firm needs to be fired on the spot.
I agree 100%. If y'all got a snowball's chance in hell, which I don't think y'all do, but if y'all got a snowball chance in hell of winning this case, which I don't, it's gonna be very difficult. But you won't win with this group, with these attorneys. You won't win with them. You won't get it done. And I agree with the lead because if this attorney got to look on a cheat sheet to remember the family members' names, man, listen. So you want to make 3 mil or whatever the percentage is, because like you said, if they can squash the case without going to litigation, going through court, okay, they're gonna get a third of it. If they got to go through court, they're gonna get a third of whatever that civil lawsuit may yield. But if they have to go through court, then they're gonna get 40% of whatever that civil lawsuit may yield. So if it's hypothetically 10 million and they got to go through litigation, that firm gonna get 40% of it. But I wouldn't feel comfortable. Listen, I wouldn't feel comfortable with this lawyer represent me in traffic court.
I don't care anything about this family. All right, let's see what the grandfather has to say about all this.
Yeah, I'm Rodney Hinton Sr. I want to give a condolence out to the officers that got killed, my whole family. I'm asking for forgiveness, and I've been praying hard for the officer that killed my grandson.
Yes.
I've been praying hard for him and his family because I know he's hurting off this. As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen 2 scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I see my grandson scared.
Yes, and now listen, I really like where this grandfather is coming from. He says he asked for prayers for Deputy Henderson's family, for his loved ones. That's amazing. This grandfather knows that Deputy Henderson didn't have anything to do with his son's death. But did you also hear what he said? And I'll tell you, as an attorney, you have to have a good ear. He really just shot his own case in the foot. What did he say? Did you catch it? First of all, what did his attorney just say? His attorney just said, listen, all of this is going to depend on whether or not the officer felt that he was in imminent danger, that his safety was in imminent peril. Now, what did the father just say? Let's take a listen.
As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared.
What did he just say? He said he saw that officer scared. What was he scared of? He was scared of getting shot, all right? His grandson was
100%.
scared. That's fine. He's young. He's got a pistol in his hand. He's running from the cops. Fine. But this grandfather just admitted on a national press conference that the officer himself was scared. That is a super damaging statement to their wrongful death claim. I know when his attorneys heard that statement, they were not happy at all. Just look at him. Look at his facial expression when he just heard the grandfather say that. Look at his face. And this goes to show you again that these attorneys are ill prepared. Whenever you know that you have a press conference and you know that the family is going to speak, you prepare them. You bring them into the office on a Saturday and you say, hey, listen, we're going to do a mock press conference. You say, here's a microphone. All right. What are you going to say into the microphone? And you have them give their whole spiel. And you listen for statements like this, which can be devastating to your claim. And after they give their spiel, you say, okay, listen, this was good. This was not so good. Say this like you said it. Do not say that. Now do it again. And then they do it again. And you say, okay, a little better. Do it again. You prepare them. Obviously, this gentleman was not prepared at all by these attorneys. And he makes a statement admitting that the officer was in fear of his life. And now look at his attorney's face. Look at the attorney on the right. Like, man, I can't believe you said that. Well, attorney, I cannot believe that you didn't prepare these family members for this press conference that you organized. You called all these media outlets here. You got all the cameras, all the microphones, all the lights, and you have not prepared this family, and they're killing their own case. This is the worst press conference I've seen in my life. The attorney doesn't even know who the family members are. Of course he hadn't prepared them, and now they're speaking in front of the microphones and making statements that will absolutely be used against them.
As I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared, and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there try to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too. So that's what I seen.
Well, listen now, I really like where this grandfather's coming from, but I'll tell you, he says he saw two people who made a mistake that day. He says his grandson made a mistake, and then he says, the officer was trying to get home to his family. Now, this grandfather, I'm going to be honest, I'm going to give him a lot of leeway because I see where he's coming from and I see his heart's in the right place. If an officer wants to get home to his family and you see that he is in fear for his life and he's 10, 15 feet away from a man running from a stolen car with a gun in his hand, I don't think you can call that a mistake if the officer protects himself, protects his safety, protects his other officers there on the scene. Certainly the 18-year-old made a number of mistakes, but this officer, in my point of view, didn't make any. But again, I don't want to nitpick what this grandfather is saying. I see his heart's in the right place.
So family, I'm going to stop it right there. And I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the lead attorney, he pretty much just broke it all down to you. As I said before, when things like this happen, where young men or young women or anybody, for that fact of the matter, has an incident with law enforcement where a citizen loses their life, man, it causes and it stirs emotion throughout the whole United States. It just does. And especially when it's a young black man whose life is just starting for himself, but because he's hanging out with the wrong crowd, for whatever the reason, he's inside of a stolen car with a pistol in his hand. and you getting and now y'all running from the police, you know that there's not going to be a positive end to that. You know that you are not going to have a positive result from that. Everybody want to always come down on the police and say the police got all, police got ulterior motives. We got throw down guns, we plant guns, we do all these things. But when the rubber meets the road, and when you look at the facts, you have to understand that when you lay it out, that a reasonably prudent person, given a set of circumstances, will arrive at a conclusion. And you can do that. It's just common sense. But the fact is that when people get their emotions all wrapped up and that, screw the fight, screw what the facts say, because it's about how I feel. And it's sad that not only do, what I'm saying, not only do women display this, the men display it too. When men are supposed to be rational thinkers and we're supposed to look at things, it's either black or white. No, we nowadays men are getting this mindset where ain't no such thing as black or white. We got gray. Ain't no such thing a hot or cold. It's lukewarm. So, family, I just wanted to come on here and just, you know, just have my man, the lead attorney, just kind of just, speak on some things because I know that you're gonna have those people out there, no matter what the lead attorney says, they gonna say he wrong too. And this man is a certified practicing attorney, but they gonna say he wrong too. So you just gonna have people that they always gonna pour feelings into a situation where the only way that you can arrive at a viable conclusion is you must analyze the facts. Even though the facts may hurt, even though the facts may present something about somebody who you just would never believe they'd be involved with something like this or even be carrying a gun, whatever the case is, wherever the facts take us, we must understand and from an emotional standpoint, be accepting of what the facts say. That's the only way you are going to arrive at a conclusion that makes sense. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.